Good morning, y'all, and thanks for being with us. My name's Allison Grinter Allen. This is my colleague, Mike Howard. Behind me, you'll see Reality's family. This is Brittany Winner, Reality's sister, Billy Winner Davis, Reality's mom, and Gary Davis, her stepdad. Reality Lee Winner was 25 years old and an NSA contractor in 2017 when she made the unauthorized disclosure of a top-secret document that detailed direct Russian interference in the U.S. election infrastructure. At an age when most people are just finding their way in the world, Reality was already a decorated U.S. Air Force veteran. Growing up in the small town of Kingsville, Texas, Reality was gifted in languages and blessed with a family that taught her the value of promoting understanding. She taught herself Arabic as a teenager and learned Pashto, Dari, and Farsi in the military. Protecting innocent civilians from the horrors of war and terrorism was the guiding principle of Reality's service to our country. Her contributions as a crypto-linguist in the fight against ISIS earned her the Air Force Commendation Medal. Her drive towards service guided her even after her career in the military, as she worked as an intelligence contractor for the NSA in Georgia, fostering animals and volunteering in youth fitness programs in her off hours. When reports of Russian interference in the 2016 election came to light, Reality Winner saw this as the existential threat to our republic that it is. And when she saw a concerted campaign to minimize, excuse, and obscure it, to write it off as a nuisance of the social media age, she took an action that violated her security clearance and the laws of the United States, an action that landed her in federal prison where she sits today. Reality Winner printed out a 6-page intelligence assessment from a secure internal news service at the NSA. The assessment was the intelligence report backing up the #1 trending article within the agency. It showed that Russian operatives had intruded directly and much further than had previously been understood into our election system. Reality folded up the printed assessment and anonymously mailed it to the media outlet, The Intercept. Reality was quickly identified by the agency and subjected to a coercive and constitutionally questionable custodial interrogation, the direct transcript of which has been made into the critically acclaimed play, Is This a Room? She was prosecuted by the Jeff Sessions Justice Department under the World War I era Espionage Act, a law designed to punish individuals who aid hostile foreign powers. Having confessed and accepted full responsibility, Reality Winner was convicted and sentenced to what was, at the time, the longest sentence on record for an unauthorized release of government information to the media. Since Reality's disclosure, the bipartisan House and Senate Intelligence Committees have both publicly confirmed and reported that Russian spear phishing efforts were able to penetrate the election systems of between 18 and 21 U.S. states, and that the law enforcement response was inadequate. The government alleged that Reality's disclosure put the nation's security at risk because it compromised sources and methods of intelligence gathering. But that was never proven. The assessment, even without the redactions that were made during publication, did not compromise, endanger, or reveal any human sources. What was revealed, that the United States can track intrusions into our systems, shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone who knows anything about the United States, our strength, and our dedication to protecting our homeland. Continuing to punish Reality Winner does not serve our national interests. Keeping her in prison does not keep us safe. If anything, it sends a message that the truth is more to be feared than foreign lies. and that's simply not true. It's right now just after 8 p.m. in Moscow, where convicted spy Maria Butina is free to sleep in her own bed at home. To date, Reality Winner has served nearly 1,000 days behind bars. This is more time than has been served by anyone who was actually involved in the effort to undermine our democracy. Earlier today, we filed a formal petition for commutation of the sentence of Reality Winner with the Justice Department. But the president, who has already spoken about the unfairness of Reality's harsh sentence, can grant Reality commutation at any time. Our country was attacked by a hostile foreign power. Our national healing process cannot begin until we forgive our truth tellers and begin the job of rebuilding what was taken from us. Election security, accountability for those who endeavored to undermine our democracy, and safeguarding the American right to government by and for the people. None of this can begin in earnest while we're still punishing those who tell us the truth. We're calling on the president to do the right thing and commute the sentence of Reality Winner. We are calling on all of the candidates vying to be president to commit to freeing Reality Winner upon taking office. Reality has suffered more than enough. It's time to bring her home. We'll take questions.
What is the significance, impetus, why now, Allison?
Well, why now? Because there hasn't been movement. We're petitioning now because Reality has been in prison for so long. There was hope early on when the president tweeted that her sentence was unfair, that she was small potatoes, that it was an unfair action by the Justice Department. There was a lot of hope that the president would intervene and would commute the sentence. But perhaps he needs to be reminded.
These kinds of things, these petitions, et cetera, are typically done kind of in private. So this is different. Tell me about that part.
So as a part of her plea agreement, Reality was asked to waive all rights to appeal, even all rights to file a writ. There's literally nothing available to her that is not a petition for executive clemency.
What is her status, health-wise, mentally, physically? Is she in Fort Worth at the medical facility because there are some illnesses? Can you or the family talk about that?
I can tell you that she's being held at FMC Carswell. And I've met with her on a few occasions, and to me it looks like the stress is really getting to her. But I'm going to let family members tell you more about that. Billy?
We visited with Reality yesterday.
Come on up, hon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. My husband and I visited with Reality at the prison yesterday, and while she's at FMC Carswell, which is a medical facility, Reality is she's not receiving any kind of treatment or care for her anxiety or her bulimia. The only type of treatment that would be offered to her at this point would be medication, and she doesn't want to go that route. So she treats her anxiety and her bulimia the way that she can through exercise and diet. Every day that passes, I feel like we're losing a little piece of my daughter and who she is. She's losing hope. She's losing sight of what being a good person gets you in this world, because she's following all of the rules. But she's not even being considered to be in a less restrictive environment. My daughter is being held in the same environment with those who have murdered people, those who have dismembered people. That's the treatment that she's looking for the rest of her sentence. And so I'm begging this president to look at Reality, look at her life, look at her service to this country, and weigh that in. She's not a threat to anyone, and she doesn't deserve this. I pray, please bring reality home.
If I can, I want to add that the petition we submitted today was joined by over 4,500 Americans who wrote letters of support. This has been a bipartisan outcry from the American people, and we're so grateful for the support that Reality has been given, even though her story has kind of flown under the radar. Her lawyers were locked down with a gag order. There's not much that can be done until now.
When did you come to the case? You and Mr. Howard, how did you come to the case?
Well, we came to the case about 5 or 6 months ago, I think.
October, November?
Yeah, October or November. And we've been compiling and putting together this petition. We came to the case because of another client of mine who was fortunate to know Reality in prison. Crystal Mason, who was also imprisoned for election-related reasons. The two of them became friends, and because of that, I met Reality's family and joined the case.
Jessica Hayden with Ethos Media.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi. I was wondering, will y'all do anything as far as she's having health issues in jail? Will there be anything y'all can do about that?
Well, our first response is that she needs to come home. Prison is not a therapeutic environment, no matter how anyone tries to make it so. But we're doing everything that we can, certainly, while she's inside, to get her the help, the therapy, and the support that she needs. Our hope is that it's not for long.
Can you talk to me, ma'am, about how you try to encourage your sister? Do you see her as an American hero?
My primary role as Reality's sister is comic relief. As people who know Reality or people who have heard stories about Reality know very well, she's a hilarious person. We have our own kind of sister language. And so what I try to do is take her mind off of the horrible situation that she's in. With our weekly video chats, I talk about all the silly things that have happened to me throughout the week. She fills me in on prison life and what's going well, what's not going well, and we just joke with each other. I send her memes. I try to keep her up on internet culture, for example. She's helping me plan my wedding, for example. And so I do anything that I can to try to bring my sister out of the very dark place that she finds herself in. And I just try to be there for her in a way that I feel, as her sister, only I can.
Dad, you wish to add anything?
It's difficult as a father to watch my daughter go through this situation. The injustice of it all. She's taken full responsibility for what she did, and she served more time than anybody, any similar action. There have been other people who are more powerful who have gotten probation for disclosing classified information. Slaps on the wrist or no prosecution, yet they singled out my daughter, a 25-year-old single white female with no power. She was nobody, and they used her for a patsy and an example. To me, that is not what America is about. To me, America is about justice, and the inequality and the inequity that she's been suffered and put through has been horrendous to observe as a father. She calls me when things go wrong. She called me the day she got arrested. She didn't call her mom, she called me, as she always does when something goes wrong in her life. And I was helpless to do anything against the power of the American government. it's difficult to watch her do this, to watch her pull back into that darkness and despair and the anxiety that she feels at the helplessness of what she's going through. The people that she's done everything. She's a model prisoner. She has not one black mark against her throughout her entire military career and her time in incarceration. She's never had any negative behaviors, and yet they treat her as the #1 threat against America when we all know that there are other threats out there. And all she did was wanted to inform the American people about what actually happened and the threat and the attack on our nation. So whatever your politics, if you're a true American, you need to stand up and speak out about the inequity and demand that our government start treating people the way it says it does, instead of keeping secrets and lying to the American people. And I call on President Trump to pardon my daughter. And if he can't find it in his heart to pardon her, at least commute her sentence and let her go home.
Thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate it.
I have one last question. What's the
Yes.
next steps? You filed your petition.
So generally, in a petition for commutation of sentence, the next step is for the petition to sit on the desk of the Office of the Pardon Attorney for a very, very long time. This president, however, has shown his willingness to break out of those conventions and use his pardon and commutation power without the normal length and duration of it sitting and getting stale. And so that's our hope. Our next steps are to raise awareness and try to get the attention not only of the American people, but of the folks who can actually make a difference and let reality free. Thank you.